Topic here, civil rights movement, women, arts, music, and politics. At the end of this class, you want to be able to identify and define these terms to the left. You want to use the AP source framework, and then you're going to have to complete these charts as they emerge within the framework of the slideshow. First up, we're going to look at Ella Baker. Ella Baker focused on grassroots. Grassroots is when you're organizing members of a population. So let's just say you have any town here. If Ella Baker shows up and uses some of the local population, that would be an example of grassroots. Fannie Lou Hamer, who was arguing about the importance of addressing both racial and gender discrimination, which is going to be the focal point of one of the sources. And Dorothy Height, who participated in numerous civil rights protests, as well as the March on Washington. So we're going to be looking primarily at women and what their experience was like, and you might see some similarities to Unit 2, some of the issues that have come up with regard to intersectionality. Another item that's in the AP framework, the CCCO, and what's significant here is that they're starting to organize in Chicago. You see King in this image here, organizing with local leaders in Chicago. You would also see New York City starting to protest. And again, the grassroots is about the local community responding to the situation. And that's what this particular source here is about. So for source one, we want to focus on these particular questions here. What issues are women experiencing as they fight for racial equality? And then what matters more, racial or gender equality? I guess it's going to depend on which side you're on. But source one is this one right here from SNCC. We want to recognize SNCC, and what you have here is a list of complaints. All of these items right here are things that the organization of SNCC is doing that restricts the rights of women within the organization. All of these particular points, which is an interesting issue because SNCC is arguing that they are an oppressed group of people. However, when it comes to looking at men versus women, then that means that they are willing to place women at certain disadvantages with regard to certain jobs that are going to be available within the movement. So here we have some information about, that particular difference. Difficult to discuss the women problem because of the assumption of male superiority. So that tells us that women have an understanding of their place within the organization of SNCC as they're protesting for equality, which has to be a contradiction. You're protesting for equality, but that's racial equality. Gender equality doesn't really seem to be an issue of concern. And that's what's being outlined in this particular reading. Women are the crucial factor that keeps the movement running on a day-to-day. So the women are recognizing that they're contributing, that they're doing their part, yet they're still doing some menial. So too many women, in order to be accepted by men or men's terms, give themselves up to that caricature of that woman is unthinkable. Maybe the only thing that comes out of this paper is discussion amidst the laughter, but still discussion. So what they're advocating here is that there needs to be some sort of awareness about the difference between what men and women are experiencing as they're both fighting for racial equality, not gender equality. At the end of that source, you want to make sure that you have your chart completed, these two sections. Then we're going to move on to source 2, which is a protest at New York City. Boycott cripples city schools, absences 360,000, Negroes and Puerto Ricans unite. The source doesn't really indicate the reason for protest. It just describes what that protest was like. And what you're starting to see is, once again, that grassroots where Negroes and Puerto Ricans are coming together to recognize some of their collective experience of oppression within the United States, primarily New York City public schools. Task for source 2. And we're going to transition to art, music, and politics section. We have some Black artists. And each of these artists come up with something unique. For example, here we have the call and response. Remember, anything that is in yellow represents a potential definition. Here we have the Little Rock Crisis. What we want to do here is analyze these particular sources before we get into some of the music. We Shall Overcome, which is a civil rights anthem. The hymns, spirituals, and gospels that we looked at during slavery and beyond, especially during the Harlem Renaissance, those freedom songs of the 1960s are going to keep the movement motivated. Here we're looking at the first source, a Negrismo Cuban poet of African descent, and here he is writing about Little Rock. Of course, this is a reference to Central High School, Little Rock 9, and what I want you to do is identify the terms used in the source that are based on understanding African American history. Here we're looking at another source, Charles Mingus. If you click the link, it'll take you to the original Faubus fable. Faubus, one of the segregationists of the South, and they bring up here call and response. And call and response is a method where you're going back and forth with the protest organizer, possibly in a series of chants. The clip will address some of those particular components. This section here is about music, and page 48 from the book Why We Can't Wait by Martin Luther King Jr. is referenced in the AP framework, and notice how they use the song Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round. So it's definitely looking at the role of music during the civil rights movement. And what we're going to do is we listen to some of these songs and analyze the lyrics. You want to know the song as well as the significance of the song. And before we get into that, we want to remember the tale of two 60s. As we are in the early 1960s, there's nonviolent boycott protests, but as things get progressively violent in the mid 1960s, you have Medgar Evers assassination, you have Malcolm X, you have riots that are taking place. People start to get angry and frustrated by the time you get to the late 60s. Song number one, We Shall Overcome. So we want to analyze this song, and you probably will notice some connections to some of the songs we analyzed during slavery, where it was this hope for freedom and faith in change. Can't Turn Me Around, another required source. It doesn't matter what you do. You could put us in jail. You can keep arresting us, use the dogs, but you're not going to turn me around. We are going to keep on moving forward. Our goal is to end segregation. So you can put the cops here. You can put the dogs here. It doesn't matter. You're not going to turn us around. We are going to continue with our goal, and our goal is to end segregation. Nina Simone would write her piece, Mississippi Goddamn. And what's interesting about Nina Simone is here you have a popular artist and how some of the artists are starting to consider whether or not they should incorporate some civil rights lyrics and songs, create songs that are going to implement some sort of change or address the issue of civil rights. Because the more you do that, you become politically active. That basically means you might lose some fans as you change from a pop artist to someone who is a civil rights artist. Two different things there. Medgar Evers assassinated, which was addressed in the documentary. Malcolm X, another song, Change Is Gonna Come. The songwriter, singer Sam Cooke was friends with Malcolm X. Malcolm X was always pressuring Sam Cooke to, write songs about the movement, to try to use his voice and his art as a way to seek change. And the story is that Sam Cooke protested against Malcolm X's, desire, and that lasted up until the point where Malcolm X was assassinated, and then Sam Cooke apparently changed his tune. The Birmingham protests, riots, Dancing in the Street became an anthem. Come to find out that this song right here may or may not have been code. Dancing in the Street basically means riot in the street for that Motown sound here. This is another example of a group that is, possibly taking a stance on civil rights issues with regard to their music, transitioning from a pop artist to a civil rights artist. Make sure you have your chart completed for your song analysis. Hopefully you're able to define these terms, complete the AP source framework, and if you want to verify your definitions,